rocket red glare, reppin' USA, so she go crazy. Mom's bursting in there with the rocket red glare, reppin' USA, so she go crazy. Wait for it, 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 wait for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Latino Free Minds. This is your host, Gio, and my co-host, Christian. Christian, how you doing?
How's it going, Gio? Good. All good here, man.
You doing good, huh?
How about you?
Man, I'm doing great. Just it was a busy weekend at the California GOP. It was very enjoyable. Got to run into a lot of friends, a lot of fans. A lot of people like what we're doing, Christian. So let's keep on doing it.
That's what I heard, Gio. That's a little crazy.
I know, man. I know. So I don't want to make them wait any longer because we have an exciting guest today. For me, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be. Well, let's get into it.
Let's
Why
get
don't we?
into it.
Picture a parent who loves their child deeply, but feels the state has overstepped into family matters. This parent saw decisions about their child's gender identity made when the child was barely out of infancy, and because they didn't affirm it, they were shut out, cut off from custody, from their child's life, and from the most fundamental decisions a parent should have a say in. This isn't just one man's battle, it's a call to every parent who believes families, not government, should guide their child's path. And now that parent is standing for all families as he runs for state assembly here in California. His name is Adam Vena.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it big time. What's going on?
Adam, I'm so excited to have you here today. So you are running for state assembly.
Yeah, California State Assembly 41, which reaches. Go ahead.
And I was just going to ask, where does that, where does 41 encompass?
41 encompasses La Cañada and all along the foothills, right up to about a little part of Rancho Cucamonga. So it's right along the San Gabriel Mountains.
Right along the San Gabriel Mountains for everybody in Northern California and the rest of the United States. That is Southern California, just north of, is that San Bernardino?
Yeah, slightly. Yeah, it basically Altadena, where they had the big fire a couple years ago. That will be right in that area. So it's a large district, but I've lived in this district almost 40 years. I live in Monrovia. Lived in Monrovia 42 years. So I love this area, and I really love. I love California, and I'm really disappointed to see where it's gone. It's been going downhill for a while, but it seemed like it's really gone downhill over the last 6-7 years, and it's disappointing to see.
Yeah, absolutely it has. It's been going down in several areas. Affordability, it's been going down in the cost of electricity, the cost of gasoline. We have the most expensive gasoline in the country.
Yeah.
That now includes Hawaii. There's a lot of things going wrong with the state. A lot of it, I would say, is probably brought on by regulations. A bunch of folks that are not really elected, but they are bureaucrats, and they put in rules that affect the affordability of California. Not just that, there's a lot of other things too. The fires, the the homelessness, the crime. Um, so I'm very excited that you get to tell us about what you are focusing on as you are running for assembly here in California.
Yeah, man. For me, I'm really focused on Californians in general, but especially the residents of 41. You know, this state, like you said, is just has been nickel and diming the residents of this state for so long. It's gotten to the point where it's going to take two or three incomes just to have a household. Be able to pay the rent, the water, the gas. Put food on the table. And then what that means is that the parents aren't home enough for the kids. You know, it's for me it's terrible to see where the state has gone and how much people have to work and not enjoy their families, their lives because they're working 60 jobs, 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to keep the roof over their head.
Yeah, you know what? You just reminded me of how expensive it is not just to live in California, but the area that you'll be representing. The costs have gone way up.
Yeah.
Just because you are in a massive metropolis, the biggest metropolis in California, the Los Angeles greater area, which pretty much bleeds from Los Angeles County to Ventura County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County. Um, I mean, the area is huge. So people that might work in Los Angeles or surrounding areas, they travel all the way out from where you live into town, even though it might take 2, 3 hours to make that drive. So, those people often lose sight of important things.
Yeah.
So, having somebody on their side like somebody like yourself is important. But do you know who the incumbent is, the person that you're running against?
I do. His name is John Harbedian, and he just got elected, so he's up for re-election. So I believe it's 2 years. So now he's up for the re-election this year. So,
What
go ahead.
what's the sentiment when you're hitting the ground there and talking to folks locally?
Locally, it doesn't seem like anybody's happy anymore. It seems like the morale is really, really low. Again, we're going back to taxes. I mean, we're the highest taxed place, here in California. I mean, California in general is super overtaxed.
Right.
And we're losing businesses. The cost of living is through the roof again. And I believe that people need some type of a morale boost when it comes to we need to get the taxes lowered. We need to get the gas lowered. I mean, we're losing gas companies here in the state of California. We're losing Shell. We lost Yamaha. I mean, the staple of California, which was In-N-Out Burger, we lost In-N-Out Burger headquarters, to Tennessee. We're losing so many companies, so many businesses because they can't afford to work here, and I believe that small business is the backbone of a state. They're the ones that are providing, they're the ones that are creating jobs for other people. And then, the entrepreneurship was something that was so big in America, is to be an entrepreneur. And I see that really dying out because, it's too expensive to live. I mean, we had sriracha sauce, the hot sauce, they were going to go out of business and move because the smell and the regulations was so bad. Texas came in here and offered them a huge amount of money and lower taxes, but they stayed here in California because, they have to get their chilies from Northern California, but I just can't understand why California would allow businesses to leave. Those are the backbone, and those is what keep the economy going, is these businesses. And they're just saying, oh, well, we'll figure out how to do it. I mean, are they going to tax us even more? They're going to have to make that money up somehow. And where are they going to make that money up? I mean, we're seeing it in the Medicaid fraud that we're just hearing about. We got the high-speed rail that our taxes all went to. All these things, and nothing it's like they don't care about the residents. They don't care about the middle class of California, and the middle class is the middle class pays their paychecks, in my opinion.
You know, it's funny. This last Friday, my one of my best friend got married, and I was the best man. And 3 days before, I went to go get my tux from Men's Warehouse, and when I got there, I those tuxes are expensive, and when I got there, the lady was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Taxes went up. I'm gonna have to, you have to pay $1.82, I think." And you mentioned just being demoralized. It's to the point where I'm just like, how much did it go up? $1.82. Just
Yeah,
pay it. I'm at the
yeah,
point where I'm just taking it now, and it's like, oh man, that's where they got us.
yep.
We're just okay. There's no more tipping tea into the bay or the harbor anymore.
I
So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it only took 3% to overthrow one of the world's largest armies in the world at the time, and that was
right.
just 3% of the population. But um, it's just really sad just to to see where California has gone, you know. And if I mean, it's weird for me to say because I would had never pictured myself ever to be in this position to run for anything type of political, but I feel that we need to bring some more common sense back up to that state capital. We've got some good people up there, but there's the supermajority of the Democrats that are making all the decisions. We had Bill Aselli, who was, I wish he would have stayed up there. I think he was a really good person to have. We've got some good people up there, but we need more people to back those people, and especially if we can get a Republican governor up there, it will, and we can get more Republicans and more seats. I think we could really turn California around to bring it back to where it should be in the United States.
Yeah, a Republican governor would be nice.
That race is getting nasty. Oh, I mean, let's not even poke it. We've got better things to talk about.
So, Adam,
Yeah.
um, with the you had mentioned earlier with the fires, what is it like down there with the recovery?
From what I hear, it's very slow going, almost about as the Palisades. Um, Altadena was a great small little town up there. I mean, it was a not a large town, but it was a good small town. Really, you got that small town feel to Altadena, and Altadena is completely gone. And what I'm seeing a lot of is these corporations, these construction corporations are moving in. And what I'm afraid of is that these people are going to be so regulated that the residents are just going to be like, "Oh, you're going to offer me $1.5 million for my property," or something like that. They're going to sell it because they can't get building permits. They're getting regulated. They're getting, they can't move fast enough to get their homes back. I mean, they're never going to get those homes back that they either grew up in or they paid off. But what I'm worried about is apartment complexes coming in there and just completely ruining that small town feel that Altadena
Yeah.
was. I mean, we have JPL was not too far from the fires. I mean, that day I sat here and I watched. It was about 80-mile-an-hour winds. The stop sign in front of my house was completely bent over. That's how hard the winds were coming through here. And I watched that fire at 3 o'clock in the morning go from the top of the mountain, and it swooped all the way down to the valley floor. And the fire, I live in Monrovia, so the fire was probably maybe a half a mile from us. And if that wind would have shifted just a little bit more, it would have caught Sierra Madre, which is another great small little town. And it would have came over into Arcadia, and it would have came over into Monrovia. But the rebuilding phase like I drove through it the other day, and it's really small to see if there's any rebuilding going on. in that area.
Man, I can't even imagine how devastating it is to lose your home,
Dude.
and then to find out that they're gonna build over your land with apartments.
Yeah. That's
Section 8.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid because California, I believe you can double check me. I believe that you can no longer build single family homes, so you have to build, and we have the ADUs that Governor Gavin Newsom passed. So you can build like, I mean, little tiny homes into a little tiny plot of property, and you can just we're just packing people in too tight with with the ADUs. Section 8, that's another worrisome thing that I fear, that you're going to build like a 200 apartment complex, but by California you have to have a certain section of those apartment complexes have to be Section 8 housing.
Right.
So, so it's this district is we've got the Rose Bowl, we've got the Rose Parade that comes through this area. You still have that. This district you still have that small town feel in this area, and I would hate to see a place like Altadena just become skyscrapers of apartment complexes and no more homes. I mean, even before I started to run, I was at a restaurant over in Pasadena, and I just happened to talk to a guy. He says he spends 6 hours at that restaurant because it has free Wi-Fi to do all of his paperwork for the fire. And then he was telling me that he found out that he was underinsured, so he's not going to get the full amount of money for the property because he was underinsured, but they never informed him that he was underinsured, if that makes sense to you.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
She's gonna lose.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. I mean, these people, like, that day when that wind was coming through here, I get it, man. I've lived here my whole life. I've never experienced winds that strong before. I get it. The firefighters were probably overwhelmed, with that amount of wind. But, I don't know. I've never experienced anything like that. I've never seen anything like that before sweep through this area. It was really, really sad to watch.
It is sad to because we watched it on the news, and it was very sad. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So watching it from here on the news, and obviously while that was going on, it was 2 fires going on at once, or 3 fires actually, because it was the Altadena, the Eaton, and the Pacific Palisades.
Yeah, Altadena and Eaton are pretty much the same area. So
But didn't it start as
yeah.
2 separate fires and ended up meeting up?
I believe so, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you see that and you zoom out a little bit, it's all so close by. I mean, it's maybe like 50-mile radius between the 2 fires at the furthest. So just complete devastation to the Los Angeles area. And I say the Los Angeles area, I used to live in LA, and I know
Okay.
people get upset with me when they're like, this is San Bernardino, or that's Valencia.
I always
Everybody
wonder
outside.
how you know all these spots in SoCal, dude. You're like, oh, are you from Folsom? Are you from... I'm like, what is he even talking about, dude?
I've lived all over. But it's so sad, and the worst part of it is the regulators holding up the building. It's the insurance companies that aren't paying out. It's just the paperwork. And I remember the president went in there like a week after during the recovery, and he was like, "Can we allow the residents to come in and start doing it themselves? Because if you guys aren't going to do it, somebody's got to do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that I was watching somebody say, "Let them do it themselves."
Well, my biggest fear is that look what happened just with a fire. Imagine what would happen if there was an earthquake.
Yeah.
This city would the organization is, in my opinion, is not very good. So that really scares me when a major earthquake would hit. What's going to happen if a major earthquake is going to hit? Is are we going to have resources? Are we going to have, help or what? Because from what I saw with the fire, it didn't seem like there was, especially after the fire, it didn't seem like there was ample resources coming in. We had, standing near racetrack, which is a horse track over in Arcadia, that was completely filled with linemen ready to go out and start hanging wires again. So, but some natural disasters, what really, really, really makes me like an earthquake or something like that makes me nervous.
And then how unprepared we were, right? Hearing that
Yeah,
dams were in
I
remission,
know.
or they were, and it's like,
I
what do you mean the dam? What do you mean that? What do you mean the firemen don't have water?
Yeah, yeah. That seems like it should be a necessity for putting out a fire, right? That we need water to put the fire out. So, and again, we don't do enough for brush clearance. That's one thing I would really like to do is meet up with some forestry managers, and I never hear anybody that's in power ever sit down with these guys and ask them what they need. Like, what resources do you need a 300 brush clearance from each power line tower? Do you need some type of like water basin next to the towers and on an electric thing pump or the sprinklers or something? So if the wind does start to kick up, you can click something on and start watering that surrounding area by the power lines. Yeah, I just never hear anybody ever ask, the forestries, like, what do you guys need to try to prevent something like this from happening again? Again, I know it was 80-mile-an-hour winds. That's kind of hard to control, but what else can we do to help, prevent something this bad from happening again?
Right. Well, we gotta also think about the smelt, right? We gotta take care of the
We gotta think
we
about
gotta
this.
take care of the smelt, and
Right.
Fish before humans, guys. Fish before humans.
That's
we gotta get straws out. We gotta get our the population sucking on glue on these paper straws, and I think if we put our heads together, we'll be able to solve that, and then we might deal with having the water issue.
yeah. Yeah. Forget about the people. Let's worry about the smell. Forget about the taxpayers.
So, speaking of taxpayers, as a taxpayer, I expect that when I'm paying taxes, that my government is doing what it should be doing, stepping in when they should, like helping out after a fire, or
Yes, sir.
taking care of the homeless people, making sure that kids are in school and getting great grades. There's certain things that I expect from my government, but there's also things that I expect my government to not get involved in. So obviously that there's issues in California with regulation, CARB. There is left and right, just the bureaucracy of California, and I don't know if you want to get too in depth in some of the issues with the bureaucracy in California, but what are some of the things that maybe you're noticing are affecting some of the constituents in your area?
You cut out for a second. I didn't hear your screen went blank for a minute, so I don't know if it was my internet or your internet. So I didn't hear the full question.
Yeah. I'll try to re-paraphrase that because I don't have these
Sorry
questions
about
written
that.
down.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
So I was mentioning taxes, and you pay your government through taxes, your income taxes, sales taxes, registration. I mean, they tax you left and right for everything. So you expect your government to step in when there's things like fires, or do their job, like make sure there's police, firefighters, schools are doing what they're supposed to do and teaching your kids. But there's also things that you don't expect them to do that they have to stick their noses in, like over regulations. You still there, Adam?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay, things like overregulation. As an example, I mentioned with CARB, they enforce certain air requirements for things like gasoline, or and it we feel like it hurts us as citizens. Um, do you are there any regulations that these bureaucrats are setting up for constituents in your area that you think absolutely need to be taken down?
Well, I think the carb thing is completely overregulated because there's no check and balance when it comes to carb. It just seems to me that they put these things in place without having anybody vote or anything. I mean, again, I think carb needs to be completely balances need to be brought up to that because again, it's how do I word this? Again, we're extremely overtaxed here. There's no reason for as many taxes we pay and for as little as we what we get. You know, our gas would be so much cheaper if it wasn't for the carbon.
Looks like we lost Adam there.
Um, you there?
Yeah, we're here, Adam.
Okay. So I don't know if
your internet's
is
kind
it
of
my
cutting
end?
in, and your internet's cutting a little bit in and out, and
Yeah.
yeah, it might be because we're talking about taxes, and they don't like when we talk about those sorts of things.
Anyways, I believe that the residents are overtaxed. You know, we have income tax, state tax, we've got sales tax, we've got all these taxes. We're being taxed. I mean, California wants to try to start taxing us on our savings account. They want to start taxing us on our 401k.
Hey, Adam,
Is it yeah? Is it
I,
my
I
internet that's
I think so. Do you want to try reconnecting? The same link will work to get reconnected.
yeah? Sorry about that, guys.
You're fine. Go ahead
No
and
worries,
Yeah.
no worries.
reload whatever you need to reload, and take as much
Okay.
time as you need if you
Okay.
need a few minutes to restart.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Adam will get that fixed on his end. Um, so Christian, a little bit of a recap here. Um, some of the things that are popping out at me down there in Southern California, and the things that Adam is worried about. Obviously, with the his constituents worried about affordability and recovering from the fires and other things. So be excited. I'm really looking forward to getting them back because there's some other things in there
We got a
that Adam.
couple questions unsolved, some stuff unsolved.
Yeah, here we go. Adam is back. The only thing is, here we go.
There
Sorry
you
about
go.
that, Adam.
Okay.
So,
No, it's not your fault. I've been fighting my internet company forever, so
oh, that's all right.
I have
That's all right.
Spectrum. Don't get Spectrum.
Sponsor of the show, Spectrum. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm still getting robbed by Comcast.
So
Oh
Adam,
my god.
what was the
Yeah.
inspiration?
Yeah.
What was the inspiration that made you want to run for assembly? I mean, obviously, we've run down a list of items that I believe that every Californian feels affected by, and maybe not every listener lives in your area, but as somebody that's going to represent us in assembly, anything that you present or any bill that is presented before you to vote on affects us all in the state. But what was the main thing that led you to decide like this is something I need to do?
Yeah. And before I get into that, I just want to say I'm 100% pro Second Amendment. I want to cut the regulations on the ammo tax. I would love to be able to get in constitutional carry here in the state of California. I wanted to get
Ooh.
rid of the gun registry.
Oh yeah.
I would like to present a hearing protection act.
I
It's a
okay.
it's a
Hearing
it's a
Protection
targeted
Act.
attack, Gio.
It is a targeted attack, but I did hear that Second Amendment. I heard
We can
constitutional
get
carry. I heard getting rid of the roster. Adam, you're cutting out again, but I heard some really good things,
that
and
kind of.
I think if
Go
anybody's
ahead.
cutting us out, it's the ATF. Uh, so you mentioned removing some of the regulations and bringing back constitutional carry, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fella, and hiding my 2A, I'll call it that because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube later. Hiding my 2A is very difficult when you got your big belly. You know, you're driving your car and you're just like ah. But if you could just put it on the side, man, that'd be dope. Adam, Adam will be back. Adam will be back.
Spectrum.
Adam said to get Spectrum. He said highly recommends Spectrum. Uh, uh, welcome back, Adam. So 2A. Let's run down that list for 2A. Oh man, dang it! I shouldn't have said the word.
Let him talk, Gio. You're hogging up the good data.
Hey, I can't help it. I live in Central California and we have decent internet. So Christian,
Yep.
as we wait for Adam, um, I'd like to just fill you in on the weekend of the California GOP.
How was it, Gio? Was it crazy?
Man, so the first day was overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of people there yet,
Mm-hmm.
but just getting used to the
Any my
event.
pillows?
There,
You
no
didn't
my
find one
pillows.
underneath your chair?
I didn't get any free my pillows. Very disappointed. Um,
That's all that matters. I mean, you're saying that everybody recognized us, but
Phil Lindell, he
if
was not there.
if Chuck Lindell didn't say, "Oh, dude, you guys are the LFM boys," I've been meaning to give you four my pillows.
Yeah, I would love to have gotten my pillows. Adam Vena, thank you so much for coming back and joining us. We got started on the
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I appreciate it.
You started talking about
So
2A.
yeah, I'll get back. I'll get onto my story. I started talking about 2A, so
I don't.
I'm pro
I think
100% 2A.
I think the 2A part is important because you cut out there a little bit, and I was hearing some really good things that I think a lot of people in your area would be interested in.
Yeah, and I'll do a video on that and a completely separate video, and I can post that or something like that. So yeah, so I guess the reason why I got involved in this and why I'm running for state assembly is because 5 years ago I lost custody of my son Aiden.
And how did you lose custody?
I lost custody because his mother is transitioning him from a boy to a girl. I got my first text message when Aiden was 3 years old, 2 years old. Sorry, of him in a pink tutu. I responded back to her in a text message saying that's my son. Don't dress my son in girls' clothes. I mean, there were some bad words in there, but no threats of violence or anything like that. Basically, he's a boy,
You're
not a
gonna
girl.
say
Stop
some bad
dressing him
words.
like that.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're gonna
I
say some bad words.
I think I would be very upset myself. I have two sons, but even with my older one being a new father with a 2-year-old, I think I would have some very strong feelings too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
so what happened with that?
So I had thought it had stopped. Me and my son's mother we ended up getting separated. and I had Aiden for his 3rd birthday. And we were potty training Aiden at the time. He says, Daddy, I got to go to the bathroom. I said, great, buddy. Do you want to go by yourself or you need some help? He said, no, I want to go by myself. I said, awesome. He goes in there, does his thing. He comes out and he goes, Dad, I need help washing my hands. So I helped him wash his hands. And as we were leaving the restroom, he said, Daddy, Mommy bought me a pink dress. The way I'm going to tell you guys and everybody else is I got down on one knee. I looked him in the eye. I said, hey, buddy, you're a boy. And boys don't wear dresses. And he looked at me and said, okay, Daddy. And we went back to cake and ice cream. A couple days later, I was pissed. And I sent out a bunch of text messages to her. Again, none of these text messages were threats of violence. None of these text messages were, I'm going to kidnap this boy. Nothing like that. It was, he's a boy, not a girl. Stop effing dressing my son in girls' clothes. And because I had sent out those group of text messages to her, she was able to get a TRO put on me. And a TRO is a temporary restraining order. So that put me.
How was that approved when she's transitioned, letting your son wear dresses?
These judges, man.
So, and I'm going to be in the state of California. Scott Wiener wrote a bill called SB-107. SB-107 is a bill that turned California into a transgender sanctuary state. So what that means is if you guys were living in Illinois and your son or daughter wanted to transition from another gender and you guys disapproved of it and your state didn't allow it, that child could technically come to California and get gender affirming care on the taxpayers' dollars. So a lot of these gender stuff is paid by taxpayer money. Children's hospitals were doing these surgeries on children, and it was done by taxpayers' dollars. And if you try to Google how much taxpayer money paid for gender surgeries, they don't have a clear answer for you when it comes to this. So I've Googled it. I've used ChatGPT. I've used Gronk. I've used everything to try to figure out how much money, taxpayer money, was used for gender affirming care. But anyway, so when he was 3 years old is when I lost custody of Aiden. And she retained the full custody of my son. The judge, Harvey Silverman out of Pasadena, we were going back and forth through our court cases. He ordered a gender assessment to be done on my son Aiden at 4 years old at Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
An assessment?
A gender assessment.
What do you mean? He's got a...
That's a damn good question. So
Gio, I need you to settle down. You're not a biologist. Just take a step back out of this.
No, but I know. But he's got a thing, man.
Gio, you're not a biologist.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
But we all know that there's two genders, and I think all of us we all know what a woman is too. So,
you're beating a Supreme Judge. There you go.
And you are right. You are right.
That's all I'm saying.
I'll take. Anyways, so Judge Harvey Silverman out of Pasadena orders a gender assessment to be done on my son Aiden. He was 4 years old. I tried to find out what was included in this gender assessment. Every time I called Children's Hospital, they would always refer to the website. So I would give them the benefit of the doubt. I would go to the website, and nothing on that website told me exactly what was involved in a gender assessment. And anytime I called over there, they said this is the adolescent youth medicine. This was not the gender clinic. It was the gender clinic, but they said adolescent youth. And then anytime I told them what my son's age was, they would always say, why is your son here? He is too young for this. And I said, well, you tell me. So they never told me exactly what went into this gender assessment. I couldn't get clear answers from the doctor. I asked to talk to the doctor. I had to go through my attorney. The day of the gender assessment, I requested to sit in on that gender assessment. That was denied. I asked for a phone call from the doctor. That was denied. I had hired my own child therapist to sit on this assessment, not to sway left or right, not to input, but I wanted to know exactly what was when you go to the doctor and you've got cancer, right? There's proper steps that you take for that cancer treatment, A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. But with my son, guys, they went from A to Z with my son. They never treated the middle. So a lot of these cases, they never treat the middle. They always go, okay, this child thinks it's the opposite sex. We're going to go to Z from them. And what these doctors tell these parents is that would you rather have a dead daughter or a live son?
What?
Yes,
For a kid?
for a kid.
You said he's 4 years old at this time.
Yes.
That's got to be a joke.
No, it's not a joke. If you listen to Chloe Cole's story, Chloe Cole is a detransitioner. She was told, the doctors told her parents, would you rather have a dead daughter or a live son? The doctors did a double mastectomy on Chloe Cole at 12 years old. She had no cancer. She had nothing. She was given medications that stunted her growth. The first time I ever talked to Chloe, she was still had bandages on from where they had removed her breasts, and she was still leaking. And once some of these detransitioners decide not to keep going with the treatments, they lose their health insurance. So they no longer get treated. One of the major medications that they give these kids as young as 12 years old is Lupron. Lupron costs $43,000 as insurance, and that's the cheapest one. There's one that costs $100,000, but Lupron was specifically made to chemically castrate pedophiles in jails, and they're giving that medication to our kids as a puberty blocker. They're giving cross-sex hormones. The side effects from these medications that these hospitals and these therapists are giving to these kids, there's so many side effects. I talked to one girl. She has continued seizures because of these medications. She has tics now. She's gotten bone loss from these things. There's so many side effects that these so-called doctors don't talk about when they start prescribing these medications to children as young as 12 years old. And in California, that's the youngest you can start prescribing the cross-sex hormones and the puberty blockers.
So how old is your son now?
Aiden is 7 years old now. I've missed 5 Christmases. I'm still sitting on Christmas gifts from my son. The minors council and my attorney and the other attorney could not even negotiate Christmas gifts for me. They wouldn't allow the grandparents to deliver the Christmas gifts to my son.
Christmas gifts, like, for how long?
I'm sitting on Christmas gifts for 5 years.
No.
I buy my son birthday. I got my son's, one of my son's birthday fucking presents right here.
That's a good glove.
I know
That's a good glove.
Yeah, I even got so if I ever get him back,
conditioner.
we can condition it, and I can teach him how to do that. I mean, I built a skateboard for him. I don't miss, even though I don't have my son, I don't miss a single holiday with my son. If you look on my Instagram, I always post either Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. I'm always posting for my son.
And where's your son now?
He's with his mom.
Are they in California still? And
Yeah.
and you haven't seen him
Nope.
since 2 years old.
Yeah. 3 years old. I haven't seen him since the last day I saw him was June 26th of his 3rd birthday.
And
So that's why I'm running for state of. I don't want to see another mother go through this. I don't want to see another father go through this. I don't want to see good parents being stripped from their kids because of this. These clinicians do not treat accordingly They're not treating accordingly. Like I said, with cancer, you treat A, B, C, and D. They're not treating these kids appropriately. They're just automatically putting these kids on drugs. Oh, you think you're the opposite sex? All right, we're going to start treating you as the opposite sex. You know, we're going to socially transition you. You know, I met a mother in Colorado whose daughter was being secretly transitioned through an art class. She would go to an art class and they were secretly transitioning her daughter in an art class.
You got on the taxpayer's dollar.
Yeah, this was out of Colorado. This story was out of Colorado.
Without parents knowing.
Well, you have AB 1955, Gio, that Gavin Newsom signed into law that schools are now allowed to keep secrets from parents. But I just, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Supreme Court just recently in the last month shut that down. But AB 1955 was another bill that if your son or daughter was having mental issues or they're thinking that they're their own gender, the schools did not have to notify the parents in regards to that. If they were using pronouns, the schools did not have to notify the parents. If this child was thinking that was the opposite sex, the school did not have to notify the parents. So that's what happened to Jessica Tapia. Jessica Tapia would not use the pronouns out of down, I believe, in the Riverside area, and she ended up getting fired from her job because she was not using the pronouns.
I've actually been in contact with Jessica Tapia.
Yeah,
I'm curious. I mean, you're talking about 5 years you haven't seen your son, and is it like a incompetency with the lawyer? Is it there's got to be something that could be done.
Majority of what it is because I'm not gender affirming. That's 99% of what's going on here. They would not allow me. We were in negotiation jail for 6 months for visitation. 6 months. I asked, do I call the supervised visitations? When do I get to see my son? How much is it going to cost? When are we going to start this? I would keep getting emails. Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to contact it. I would get emails. Would you rather have a female supervisor or you would have a male supervisor? I would tell them, only to receive an email 6 months down the road saying, sorry, Adam, but we dropped the ball on visitations.
And that just, how long ago was this?
This was quite a number. This was like a couple years ago.
And nothing since?
Nothing since. I am now representing myself.
No lawyers picking this up. You have got to be kidding me.
No. I've reached out to fathers' rights organizations. I have reached out to Christian organizations. I haven't given up on my son. But legally wise, I have given up.
I mean, what about all these new changes from the federal level? I thought this had been reversed.
No, just because God bless Trump, but since Trump signed the executive order, but we need Congress to write a bill. Marjorie Taylor Greene had a Protect Children's Innocence Act that has just got voted on by the judicial. She's no longer a congresswoman. So now that bill would have done so much, but that bill will not, I don't believe will ever see the light of day. It would criminalize doctors, it would criminalize therapists, and it would criminalize two other type of people for doing this to children. But we need a federal law passed by Congress to get this to stop. But even if it does stop, Gio and Christian, we both know the state that we live in. Do you really think Gavin Newsom, because he signs over all these bad parenting bills, he signs these bad parenting bills. Do you think because the federal government's going to come in here? No, he's going to use taxpayer dollars to fight it. We've got Bonta in there that's going to fight it tooth and nail. We've got Scott Wiener that writes 90% of these bills. He's going to fight it tooth and nail.
He doesn't even have kids.
He doesn't have kids.
That's probably a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
San
So we
Francisco,
need.
what the hell is wrong with you? You keep putting this
He's
demon,
running
this
for
devil.
Congress. He's running for Congress. He's running for Nancy Pelosi's seat.
So, you know what? If somebody has dirt on that asshole, put it out. Get Scott Wiener out.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to have dirt on him, like they had with Swalwell. Get him out. Release the dirt. Get this devil out now.
Because my fear is that if he gets into Nancy Pelosi's seat, we lose the House and we lose the Senate coming up here. The bills that he has pushed on the state of California, my fear is he's going to push it in DC, and he's going to get a lot of these bills passed. I mean, we've got AB 665 that would criminalize a parent or parents if they were not gender affirming. We've got 1955. He's written a whole host of really, really bad bills, very anti-parent bills, taking the responsibility away from the parents. The kids are our responsibility. We, the parents, they are our responsibility. I want to know if my son or daughter stubs their toe at school. I want to know about it. You know what I'm saying? And they have taken the power away from the parents. I had a guy on the other day on my live that the DOJ under the Biden administration labeled parents as domestic terrorists.
What?
For speaking up at school board meetings.
I actually remember that, but now when we're hearing this in context, you know what? For you people voting for Democrats right now, I know the Republicans have their issues, but if you're voting for Democrats right now, you are bringing hell on this country. Like seriously, especially here in California. I can't believe what was the bill again?
So SB 107 was the transgender sanctuary bill.
SB 107. So Senate Bill 107. That means it wasn't voted in. Not by us. It was voted in by California Senate. None of these bills
have been voted by the people.
Every single person that signed that bill on, somebody make it, Rob Lucero, make a note. Let's find out every single name that's on there. And I'm going to make a clip calling every single person out that signed that bill. We're going to start moving that around. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this shit here in California. These devils that allow our children to be I made a video, and maybe it's the same bill where they allow girls or girls to be taken out of school without the parents' notification to have abortions. You're talking about minors. Now you're telling me about gender transitions?
Mm-hmm.
We need to find out who's signing for this stuff. These are Senate bills. The people aren't voting for this. It's the senators that the people keep voting in. And you know who it is? It's the Democrats, because the Republicans don't have the power to do anything in this state with the supermajority.
Yep. I mean,
so I'm guessing you're not running as a Democrat.
No. I wish I could run as a constitutionalist because I believe in the Constitution, but I am running as a Republican. I am. And I just...
do you get to hear anything about your son? Any updates, photos?
I won't talk. I can't talk about that.
Okay. That's okay. If you're not allowed to talk about it,
yeah,
just tell me you're not allowed to talk about it. I completely understand. And so do you have somebody like a partner or family that is with you during all of this?
Oh yeah. I've got a really, really good support team. So what I did when this all started for me, I used to make good morning videos to my son. People can go back onto my Instagram, scroll all the way down, and I used to make good morning videos from the cab of my truck, like saying, "Hey, good morning, Aiden. It's Dad. You know, it's Friday. It's family movie night. You know, here's a couple suggestions for movies." And so I would make those movies every single day. I don't like going to a counselor. I don't want to go to a therapist, but doing those videos for myself was a grasp that I was still a dad. I still had some type of, say in my son's life. So
Adam, he kind of froze there. Or is that me? No, I still see you moving, Christian. We'll give his internet a second. Rob made a note there, making a list for recall. Thank you, Rob. We got to do that. We got to get every single one of those demons that signed that out. We need to bring major attention to this.
That's crazy. That's nasty work, Gio.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
As a citizen of California, the representatives that are supposed to represent us doing something like that,
Mm-hmm.
Christian, we'll bring Adam back in. If Adam jumps back in, we'll bring him back in. That was hard to listen to, Christian, and Adam's back. Adam, thank you for jumping back in.
This is extremely embarrassing. So I apologize.
No,
About
No,
worries.
you're totally fine. It gave me.
Yeah.
So we were talking about your support system,
Yeah.
and I'll let you continue.
Yeah. So somebody sent my story to Lindsey Graham, the Patriot Barbie. One day I'm sitting in court, death scrolling on my phone, waiting to get into the courtroom, and somebody posted a picture of my son. And I've maybe posted one or two pictures of my son, and this lady keeps talking. I'm like, who the hell is posting about my son? Long story, it's about her, and she got me into contact with so many people, support-wise. They, going back a little bit, they not only stripped my son from me, they stripped Aiden from his grandparents. So my mom and dad and Aiden's grandparents haven't seen Aiden in 5 years. They used words that my father said over a phone call: quit doing this to my son. He's a boy, not a girl. And they used that against the grandparents for them not to be able to see their grandson. But I've got a really, really good support system. I don't know where I would be without the group of people that have been put in my life to help me out through this. And Rob, the guy Rob is another one. He allowed me to be on his podcast. He was probably the first or second one that I was on. But so the support system is amazing. I don't know where I'd be without this really tight niche group of people, and that has kind of blossomed, not blossomed, but it's grown into something. Even though I don't see my son, I've been able to tell my story and talk to other parents, talk to other fathers, talk to mothers that are going through this. They've got a whole organization called GenSpec. I was invited to their organization, and I believe that I was the only one going through this. My son was the only kid that was being transitioned like that. And I walked into a room about 500 parents whose kids were also being transitioned.
In the state of California, or
these parents were from all over the United States.
you have got to be kidding me. This is not just here.
No. So what they're doing, like I use Chloe for instance. Chloe started to transition through social media, TikTok videos. That's the way they're getting in. And I talked to about 5 parents at that GenSpec, and they said once their kids started to transition, they all shared the same exact note. So somebody online told them how to write a note to their parents to tell them that they were transitioning. And all these notes were almost identically worded about how they were transitioning. It was wild. Some of these stories that I've heard is absolutely wild to hear. Going back to schools, I talked to a mother a couple weeks ago. They put tampon dispensers in her kid's boys' bathroom, and trash cans in her. I think he's in the 4th or 5th grade. They have tampon dispensers in the bathroom for boys. So it's not just Tampon Tim's state. It's here in California too.
God.
So, and my son goes by a girl's name. He has she/her pronouns. My son has long hair. My son from behind, he looks like a girl.
What is your son's birth name?
Aiden.
Aiden.
Yeah. Aidan. So it's been a wild 5 years. Not just for me, but for my mom and dad. That's their first grandson was taken from them. So yeah.
So where are we currently at?
Dude, you want the truth?
Yes.
We're nowhere. We're
5 years of fighting. 5 years of fighting, and we're in the same place we've started. And your lawyer's gone.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
And I'm sure you do that. You talk about this all the time. You're talking about your son every day, I'm sure.
Yep. I talk about that boy every single day.
And
Every single day.
all of the messaging that you get out, and nobody's done anything.
I've had a lot of help, but not legally wise. Not legally. I can't. I can't. I have to be very careful on how I tread on the legal aspect of this, but I haven't had the right representation to help me out. One, because there's no case law to help people, and I'll give you an instance. Jeff Younger out of Texas. Jeff Younger's wife moved to California because of Ep.167. Jeff Younger lost all of his parental rights because the mother was transitioning the boy to be a girl. He lost full custody. Me and Jeff have the same judge out of Stanley Moss Courthouse. His son now is being put on puberty blockers, from what I understand. Jeff Younger had one of the number one experts on his defense, and they still granted full custody to the mother and started the puberty blockers on his son.
Puberty blockers. What is that really?
I mean, as far as I know, it was a chemical castration drug that they gave to pedophiles in jails.
That's what I wanted you to tell everybody, because puberty blocker kind of sounds like, oh, it's just slowing things down. No, it's a castration drug.
Yeah. Yep. It's a castration drug for pedophiles in jails. And that's what they're giving to our children at a huge expense on behalf of the pharmaceutical company and the insurance companies.
Wow.
There's so much money to be made when it comes to transitioning a child, because they never get better. Do you understand that? These kids will never get better. They only get worse. This is just my opinion, but there's some proven facts that these children only get worse. So what happens is these medication, it's a revolving door for the insurance company. It's a revolving door for the pharmaceutical company. These kids are going to be lifelong patients of theirs. They're always going to have to be in there for something. And I have not heard of one story of a child going through gender affirming care that had a positive outlook on it.
Oh, God.
And I don't want to get too graphic, but I talked to a mother yesterday in Alabama. She lost custody of her kid. The kid was taken to Canada. I don't have the full details on her story.
Canada?
Yeah. Canada is 10 times worse than we are in the United States when it comes to this stuff. She tells me that her son was taken to Canada. She lost custody of her son, taken to Canada. I believe it was for a foster care. He was said he was a different gender. He ended up getting bottom surgery at 12 years old.
What the hell is bottom surgery?
Where they remove the penis.
This is all hard stuff, man. This is
No.
They're removing the perfectly healthy genitals from children as young as 12 years old.
You have that. That's So what's going on in these groups where you meet other parents that are going through similar?
So, yeah, so GenSpec is a group of doctors and therapists that want to treat gender dysphoria the proper way. So again, I mentioned cancer, you treat it the proper steps, right? That's what they want to do with these children. They don't want to automatically put them on medications. That's the furthest things from this organization's mind. They want to treat it slowly and properly. They want to do no harm. That's what the role of the doctor is, to do no harm to the patient. That's what this organization wants to do. They want to treat these kids the proper way. They want to treat them step by step by step. And majority of the time, these kids, once they hit puberty, they're done. So either they're out of it and they become straight, or majority of them end up being gay. But they treat them properly, without medications, without the surgeries, without anything. They treat them normal. They treat them the proper way, the way doctors and therapists should be treating these kids with this organization. And mind you guys, my son was never diagnosed with gender dysphoria. My son was diagnosed with gender curious. He was never gender dysphoric. So he was only gender curious. That was never a diagnosis, but they still treated him as if he had gender dysphoria.
So,
and again,
what does that mean?
To be honest with you, dude, I'm 5 years into it, and I don't know what gender dysphoria is.
I don't want to know. I didn't want to sound stupid, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I haven't really. There's certain things that I look into, but some of the stuff I can't read about it, dude. It's too. I'm sure it'd be easier for someone like you guys if you guys want to learn about it, but because my son's going through this, a lot of this stuff is really, really difficult for me to read on. Really, really difficult for me to read and learn about, because my son is going through it. I'm not just some outside bystander looking in. Oh, what is gender dysphoria? It's really hard for me to read some of this stuff.
All right. So what is your day one getting in there to the assembly?
My day one, I would love to be able to get a handle on our taxes. I would really like to figure out a way to repeal the gas taxes, get rid of some of these taxes that we've got. We're being triple taxed on money that's already been taxed. We're being sales tax, gas tax, state tax, income tax, where our money is just being taxed to where it's worth absolutely nothing. I really want to do the taxes, but man, let me tell you, man, my main concern is family. That is my main and number one priority, is family. Bringing back the family union, right. Bringing back a stronger family. Our kids are so distracted by the phones. The mothers and fathers, it's so easy to throw this device in front of the kids. I really want to figure out a way to bring back the family unit, because that's what we need. Our kids are just getting bombarded by so much crap out there. The parents are losing so many rights, on what we do and what we. One last thing, dude. I got a call from an LGBTQ organization in regards to my son, right? I played dumb with them on the phone. I said, yeah, I'm the one that called. I need to know what exact steps you guys are going to do for my son. Do you guys believe in the medications? Do you guys believe in the surgeries? This is what they told me, and I recorded it on my phone. Is your son there? I said, no, my son's not there. We cannot give you that information without your son's consent. I said, to be honest with you, my son is 7 years old. I'm in charge of that little boy until he's 18 years old. Once he hits 18, he makes his decisions, right? They would not give me the information without my son's consent.
Your 7-year-old son?
He has to give parents, the child has to give the parents consent for them to know what's going on with them.
All right, if you're listening, because we can't leave it on Adam because he might get in trouble, and I don't want to get him into any trouble. If you're listening, let's find out who these companies are, who these hospitals are. Let's put a list out there. Let's put a list out there. They should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm not trying to dox them or anything, but because legally, I don't want to get in trouble for that. But
Right.
Just so that people know, the hospitals that they're going to and supporting, you should know that hospital is on the list that is assisting in this demonic work.
Yeah.
Let's find out, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get a list together. There's between everybody that will eventually. I mean, right now we have a good group of people listening, but let's make clips. You have my authorization. If you want to screen capture this episode and share it, I don't care if you get 1 million, billion views and I don't get any of the money from that. I don't care. I don't make any money from what we do anyways. You see our videos with 50,000, 100,000. We don't get no money. So clip it up, send it out. Make sure that people know. Make sure that people find out, and let's start calling these people out because we've been talking for just over an hour, and I'm already sick of it.
We never even got into the drag queen story hours.
Oh man, you got more. Bring it.
Well, yeah, Adam, if you want to tell us, what are some flags? What are the red flags? What's something?
They got San Fernando Valley. They were bringing in drag queens from K through 12. A bunch of protesters showed up to have no more drag queen story hours. You're looking at drag queen story hours, especially under the Biden administration. It really seemed like these drag queen story hours were all over the place.
They had them on the lawn.
Yes. So you were seeing kids as young as 2 years old with these drag queens. You have the Los Angeles Dodgers, which was one of my favorite Dodgers, I was a diehard Dodger fan forever, but they bring in an organization that drag queen nun group. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I can't remember
that one.
A few months after that took place, the leader of that group was arrested in a park in, I think, Washington State for masturbating in the park. So we have these organizations that are being, I guess, I don't know, glorified. And there's children involved. You have there was a bookstore in my area that I protested. I was with me and one other friend. It was only two of us, but they were having drag queen story hour for kids in this bookstore. We've got all these books that are being put into the schools. If you're a parent, you need to go to your school and find out what is going on. What books are being put in there? There's a lot of, my son was going by the name of Luna. Jeff's son was going by the name of Luna. Luna was a name of a transgender kid's book. The main character in that book was named Luna. And my son was going by that name. Jeff's son was going by that name for a while. So these books are being put into the school districts, and when parents go to speak out against it, they get their mic shut off. They get escorted out. Some of these books are talking about how to give oral pleasure to the opposite sex. And these are in our school districts. Kids' books.
That's disgusting. In our libraries.
Yeah.
Public libraries.
School libraries.
Now, I've heard about the books because I've seen the school board videos and people up there yelling at them, and the school board's acting like, we don't want to hear this. You know what? If you haven't seen it and you're not paying attention and you're not at the school board, shame on you. Shame on you for not paying attention. I, Adam, I can't believe it. The organizations that do these sorts of things. I mean, having a grown man masturbate at a park and
It's we have we have fallen so far away from, I'll just say it, from God. I mean, this country was based on God, you know, and it seems like I believe in 1967 is when we removed the Bibles from the schools, and to me, it really seems like we have just like I I don't know, we've just fallen down as a society on our face that how can we get to a point that we think that it's okay to remove healthy body parts from children? Where have we gotten when it's okay to give medications that are supposed to go to pedophiles and jails to children as you know as young as 12 years old? Where have we gotten that it's okay for children to see drag queens, you know, and have them read books to them, you know, or give children books that says in my daddy's tummy. That's a book. It's a two. Anyways, there's a book called In My Daddy's Tummy, and it's a baby bump on a. So yeah, there's books out there like that our kids can look into.
oh my
But
god,
we've fallen as a society, in my opinion. How we've gotten to this point where we're just absolutely just destroying the next generation of children. You know, we're
No.
confusing children. We're saying that it's okay for a dude to dress up as a girl and invade, you know, girls' bathrooms or girls' locker rooms. You know, especially on the girls' part. I don't have any girls, but I mean, our girls are women too. They're these guys are allowed to go into these spaces, and then the people that speak out against it get criminalized for it, or they get told to shut up and don't talk about it. This is the new normal, you know.
yeah. We had Tish Hyman come on, and we were so disgusted with the men going in the women's locker room, and she was calling it out like, "Get these dicks out of the locker room. He's got a
Right.
dick in my face," and
Right.
and you know that those are adults. We're talking about kids now. We're talking about kids getting their genitalia removed at 12 years old, or chemically castrated.
Yep.
Puberty blockers. It's just disgusting.
Yep.
Seriously, guys. And before this gets taken down, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be taken down because of the way I'm reacting. Get 4K downloader, download the whole episode, cut it up, and put the videos up. Spread them. I don't care. Send them to every one of these big MAGA influencers that have a big following. Send them to every single influencer and tell them, look, here's Adam Vena. Give them Adam Vena's Instagram. Bring attention to this, and make sure that parents are seeing this. Make sure that grandparents are seeing this. Churches. Everybody needs to see it, and everybody needs to be out there. There's no reason why Scott Wiener should still be in politics. The guy should be in prison. He should be held responsible for this. And every single person that signed the bill that is putting your taxpayer dollars towards cutting kids' dicks off or cutting little girls' chest apart, they need to be put into prison. That's just what needs to happen. Mutilating children, authorizing that on our dollar, they need to be held accountable. And I'm telling you right now, every Democrat that gets voted in from here on out, it's the voters. They need to be held responsible for putting those people in there. We need to. I mean, what can I say without getting in trouble now?
Yeah. We just need more parents to start, you know, more parents need to start rising up and speaking up at school board meetings. More parents, more dads. The mama bears have been really good at this fight. They've done a really, really good job. But I think it's to the point now where the fathers need to start really rising up and speaking out against this stuff. You know, we've got some good dads out there, but I think it's time for the men and the fathers to really rise up and really start showing up to school board meetings and really holding these school board members accountable for what they're putting in the schools. You know, and not all the schools are bad, but you're gonna have to do your research. You're really gonna have to do your due diligence when it comes to the libraries and what they're teaching their classes, or if there's a hidden glitter class, or something like that. You know, parents have got to be on top of their toes now. It's crucial. If we're gonna save our kids, it's crucial that the parents really
Ring the
rise up.
alarms.
And maybe you think the things that I'm saying are extreme. They're not. If you want to go to Amazon, order one of those big butcher block or the butcher paper rolls, that maybe $30, and find out where these senators, because it was a Senate bill, right? Whoever signed for this, go out to their office every morning. Paint a sign that says Senator so-and-so signed to cut children's dicks off. Get people's attention. You know what? You know what's going to happen if you write dicks on a big poster? People are going to look at it and go, "What the hell? They did what?" They're going to look into it. Do it. Put signs up in front of their office. Don't go out and print posters because they're just going to take it down.
Yeah.
Do it cheap. Big red. Buy a gallon of red paint. Go out there every day and put signs up every single morning. And you know what? It's not slander. It's not a lie. They signed it. They signed it. Bring attention to it every single morning. It'll take you 20 minutes to walk out there, tape it on their window so that every morning somebody sees it. Somebody new will see that sign and recall those sick bastards.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. We shouldn't be voting in a Democrat for at least the next 2 cycles. Teach them a lesson here. Anybody that wants to run as a Democrat going forward knows that hey, Republicans too. I don't know who signed for this, but I'm considering the supermajority. They need to be held accountable, and they shouldn't be holding office. The people that were in there should never have a job again. I already said it. They should be in prison. Do it.
Scott Wiener definitely needs to be in prison.
Wait, Golden Gate Bridge. Put a big sign up every day. Yeah. Tie it on there. Do something.
Yeah.
Have the news go out there with their drones and film that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, our children are really under attack, and really, really under attack, and so are parents. You know, they're undermining our rights to be parents to our kids. You know,
we should be rioting in the streets. We should be. No, Adam, I'm not kidding.
I'm
rioting in the streets.
In California, it always gets worse. Everything could get worse in California.
It could get worse. It could get a lot worse.
The things that we riot over, to me, when you're messing with kids,
I know
it's the ultimate offense. We should.
I know.
There's a special place.
Waymos haven't burned over this. Bricks haven't been thrown over this.
I know, that's because we're all working.
Yeah, and we're working.
Yeah, but people,
Gio, I am totally on board with that. We need more people at the Capitol. I mean, when we were fighting for I can't remember what bill it was. We were all begging people to show up to the Capitol, to show up in force, to be, because when you walk into the Capitol to testify on some of these bills, they line you up outdoors and you walk through the door to speak in front of everybody, and you got to say, I'm for the bill or I'm opposing the bill. And the opposite side had so many more people showing up. So many more people showed up to oppose the bill. than to be for it, or vice versa. If that makes sense to you, we just, I mean, I can't remember. Oh, it was AB 1955. I believe that was the bill that to keep secrets from parents. Um, Jack Hibbs, down in, I think he's in Riverside area or
Yeah.
Temecula area. He made a call out, and once he made that call out, there was 2,000 people that showed up to the state capitol to protest against that bill. But we need more influencers like Jack Hibbs. We need more. I don't know what your guys' religious beliefs are, but we need more churches to start talking about these things and bringing more awareness and getting more people to the Capitol when some of these bad bills get brought up, or try to get them away to get to the voting booth to start voting. I think churches need to get a lot more involved than they already are. I know they're worried about their 501(c)s, but when it comes to this type of stuff, we need, in my personal opinion, we need the churches to really, really start standing up for the kids and parents. They've been, in my opinion, fairly silent when it comes to this kid stuff.
I agree. And as we start to recall these folks, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that can help recall these folks. Print out the recall documentation and take it to every church in your community. I guarantee you every member of the church is going to sign it. Yep. Every single member.
Right.
Take it to every
They
single
better.
mosque. Take it to every mosque. Don't
And
be
if
afraid
they
to go to
don't
the
sign
mosque.
it,
They're
you
nice.
got-
They'll
you got-
probably feed you. Go to the mosque. Every person will sign it. Go to the synagogue. Every person will sign it. Every single religious temple, go.
And if they're not signing it, I think you got some bigger questions. You got some other findings to do.
Yep.
Yeah, this is sick. Every single position. Let's recall every single position.
And family court judges. We got to recall family court judges because
Ooh.
Hold them accountable.
family court judges are not voted on by the people; they're governor appointed. So governor appointed. Family court judges are governor appointed.
Well, let's get a good governor in there.
I know.
I can think of a guy that can hold some law and order. Yeah.
Yep.
I got a favorite. We've endorsed a guy.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get it. We need to change the governor. We can't have another Democrat in there to allow these judges to continue. And you know what? Whatever your Republican governor candidate is, whether it's Chad Bianco like me, or it's Steve Hilton like somebody else, go talk to them. Tell them day one, fire every judge. I don't care if the courts don't see anybody for a week. Fire every judge. It's not worth it. It's seriously not worth it. If another child is mutilated or gender affirmed, whatever these things are, we need to get them out.
Yep. We need a whole defunding of the family court system, and we'll just gonna leave out the gender stuff. I mean, parents are being stripped from their kids left and right.
Yeah.
I've got a friend down in Orange County who hasn't seen her son in over almost a year and a half, and she's doing the recall and she's still fighting in court. But for me, I would love to be able to see it. I really like Michael Gates. Me and this other mother had a long conversation with Michael Gates about the family court system. But I would love to see the family courts defunded and moved into the criminal side and have juries rule on family court cases instead of one person, one judge rule on someone's, that one judge can ruin, a parent's life in a heartbeat, So that's what I would like to see. The whole defunding of the family court.
I agree, and I'm in discussion with Michael Gates' team to have him on Latino Free Minds.
Oh, good.
We actually have a date scheduled, but I'll announce the date as we get closer. But it's definitely something we're going to bring up.
He's
It's
a
definitely,
he's
but
he's a
let's
great
not
guy,
wait
man.
for that. Look, we're in
Right,
April.
right.
By the time he gets in there, you're talking about almost a year of waiting. So don't wait. Go order. I'm serious. Order up your poster paper, and go put it on their on their windows every single day. Now I'm not saying to cause any damage, right? Tape
No,
is not going to cause damage because I don't want you guys to get in trouble. But we need.
or at least call your local senators, you
Yeah,
know,
I'm sure
and
people call
blast
them all
them.
the time. You know
Yeah,
what? Let you put, you know what, on that butcher block, put paper, put their phone number on it. I say butcher paper, but whatever posters.
right.
And the reason I say butcher paper because I know the rolls are cheap. We ordered like 200 feet of it for like $15 a couple weeks ago, but you can really just do whatever you can afford. Like if you got an Amazon box, just cut it up, put tape on the back, and write it on there, and go put it up there. It just, let's bring attention to these people, these disgusting people. Adam, you've brought our attention to some serious matters, and you've also addressed some of the concerns that your constituents, if they vote you in, um, things that they care about. Um, I want to give you a chance to give your closing statement, and as well as how people can reach out and find you, and maybe help fund your campaign. Um, just however long you need to tell them everything. Give them all the details, websites, links, whatever you need to give.
So pretty much right now, I'm pretty much doing everything by myself. I'm you can reach out. I'm a fairly simple guy. I don't have a website right now, so you can reach out at me at adam.vena on my Instagram. You can DM me. One of the things that I'm trying to steer away from is asking people for money. The reason why I'm not asking for money is because we're being nickel and dime everywhere we go in this state, especially in this district, where we've got Amazon subscriptions, we've got Netflix subscriptions, we've got this organization asking for money, we got this guy asking for money, we need your money here, donate 25 cents here. I'm really I'm trying to steer away. One, because money muddies the water. All
Yeah.
I'm asking for, all I'm asking for is your keyboards, and all I'm asking is for your voice. That's
Yeah.
all I'm asking for. You know, that might be a shit way to do it, but I don't want to ask for money because Californians are struggling as it is. You know, in every area that you can think of. And again, that might be a dumb way to go about it, but um, I really want parents and families to have more money in their pockets. We work too damn hard in this state to have less money. We work more hours, but we bring less back in our
A
paychecks.
third just disappears every
Yes.
Friday.
Yep. Every Friday or every other Friday. I mean, I I want to try to bring some common sense back into this state. This state was absolutely gorgeous 10 years ago. You
Yeah.
know, this state was, you know, it was the place to go. This state was the place where people wanted to open their business. This place is, where families wanted to start the American dream because we never get above 74 in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It gets hot during the summer, but we drive 20 miles down the road and we're at the beach. Or if we want to go snowboarding in the wintertime, we can go surfing one in the morning and we can go snowboarding in the afternoon. I mean, there's no other state that has that. We've got so much rich history in the
Take
state
that,
of California.
Texas.
So much rich history. I mean, but Texas is offering businesses
Right.
like tax free for 10 years. Why can't we do that here in the state of California? Why can't we lost, what did we lose? We lost SpaceX, we lost In and Out, we're losing Shell. We lost Yamaha. We're
Valero.
losing, yeah, we're losing Valero. We're losing all these businesses. Why? Because we don't want to give them a tax break. We want to tax the billionaires. Why? The billionaires are the ones that are bringing jobs to us. They're the ones that they're busting their balls at a young age to get to this point. Why is it their fault? Why is it their fault? Why should they have to pay more taxes? They're paying their taxes, but they're also doing good. They're creating jobs. They're adding to the economy. They're not subtracting from the economy. They're adding to the economy. The more money people make, the more money they're going to spend. They're going to buy cars. They're going to buy computers. They're going to buy phones, everything like that. So we need to keep more damn money in these people's pockets. That's what we need to do. We need to figure out a way to get more money in people's pockets. We work too damn hard to have less money. And I think my final thing is for parents, it's time to bring back the dinner table. I say this all the time. When I was a kid, you guys were probably a kid. You guys were out playing, but the worst thing you had to do is come inside the house for dinner. But I look at that now with a little bit older and wiser in my beard, and I realize what an important thing that was to sit with your mom and dad, your brothers and sisters. Parents are going to learn so much from their kids. They're going to learn who's teaching them, who their friends are, where they're going, what kind of activities they're into. Put the phones away and sit down and talk as a family, whether it's 10 minutes a night or a half an hour a night. Parents need to get back down to that dinner table and sit there and listen to their kids.
Yeah, the best. There's a lot of importance in just the dinner table, right? The
Yep.
Knights of the Round Table. You're talking about just everything. It's a place to decompress. It's a place to it's a Socratic seminar in itself. Hey, why do you
Yeah.
feel that way? Well, hey, I feel this way. Don't get on him. It's a place to, yeah, like I said, uh,
I
de-stress.
Yeah, that's why I love. I mean, as difficult as holidays is for me, I do it for my mom, but I still learn history about my family by sitting down at that table and listening to the old timers talk. And it's it's a great thing.
Right.
That dinner table. So
Well, Adam, I appreciate you joining us on Latino Free Minds. Um, just a reminder for everybody: let's get that list. Let's hold these people accountable. I'm not inciting violence, um, but if
Don't storm a Capitol.
and don't go and vandalize. But a little bit of tape on a big poster is not hurting anybody. They can go outside with Windex and wipe down the residue from the tape and move on with their day. But everybody that drives by will know we need to recall that guy. So
Yeah.
let's make it happen. If 10 of them are recalled, I'll be happy, but I won't be satisfied unless they're all out.
we need
Especially Scott Wiener. Let's get
Yeah.
him out.
Yeah.
No one's running. One last thing, no one's running against Scott Wiener in San Francisco. He's run as of right now. I believe he's running unopposed for Nancy Pelosi's seat. And if there is somebody running against him, he is the absolute front runner for that spot for Nancy Pelosi's seat. So
Well, let's find out if he has a front runner. If he doesn't have a front runner, somebody get in there.
Yeah.
And all over San Francisco, take your posters all over San Francisco. Scott Wiener's cutting off. Scott Wiener wants to cut off kids' dicks. Put it on signs. No,
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Do it,
Yep.
because that's the only thing that's going to get attention.
I know.
Child mutilation or
Yep.
people don't know what that means. Put on there exactly what it is.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Sorry about that.
What?
And
No. And
you're authorized.
another thing, you don't have to live in San Francisco to run against him. I learned that. I was going to run against Scott Wiener, but I decided to run for District 41. But if you live somewhere else in California, you can still run for Congress against Scott Wiener. So you don't have to live in that district. So if you're here in Southern California, you can run against Scott Wiener in for Congress against him if you don't live in San Francisco. So
Somebody get their name in there, and let's be careful that it's only one person that that we can trust. Okay. Now, if we vote somebody in there and they just do nothing, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with somebody getting voted in and that just goes and does nothing for the next 2 years or 4 years, however long that seat is being used, just to hold it until we can get the right person in there. But we need to have them removed. I didn't want to say taken out because that can be misconstrued. I don't want to incite violence. Let's get him. Let's fire this guy.
vote it out.
Vote him out. And please, you have our consent. Take this, download this video, cut it up, clip it. It's just flood social media, and don't even give us. I don't care if you give us credit. Zoom into Adam Vena. Do whatever you want to do. Get this video, get clips out there, get people's attention out there, and let's make it happen. Let's make some change here in California, and across the country, other states too, where their stuff is going on. Start calling these people out. It like I said, it's cheap just to get some cheap material, some cheap paint. You don't need to. You don't need to print out big poster boards that's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. And if they tear it down, suddenly you're out of hundreds of dollars. To doing that's going to be very expensive. We can do it on the cheap, guys.
Yep.
Let's close it out with a prayer. I like Adam. I like to close it out with a prayer every week.
Absolutely.
And let's remember to keep Aiden in our prayers. Heavenly Father, we come before your throne. We thank you, Lord, for this day, for the blessing of being able to wake up and being able to stand up and go to work and do the things that we need to do. Being able to provide for our families and being able to fight another day for them. I ask you, Lord Jesus, first and foremost for Adam Vena's son, Aiden. Lord, watch over him. Send the angels to guard him, to protect him from the evil that's being pushed onto him. Allow him, Lord Jesus, to have his heart touched so that he can start to understand the demonic pressure that's being held over him. Allow it, Lord Jesus, to be removed. Whatever is over his mom, whether it's doctors or lawyers, whoever's pushing her to do it, whether it's a demonic presence, let that be broken, Lord. Let those chains be broken. And Lord, I ask you to please give everybody the motivation to be able to do something about the things that they've heard here today. To be able to spread the video, to be able to help find out who these senators are that signed these bills, not just here in California, but everywhere. To print these names out and to start, Lord, not committing violence, but being able to spread the knowledge that these people are doing these sick things. Give them the authority and the power to be able to do this on a daily basis until real changes is done here in California and throughout the United States, because you have blessed this nation, and we want it to continue to be blessed, to be under you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. We thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Adam, again, I thank you so much for joining us, for your time. And we all need to continue praying for Aiden. Everybody needs to continue praying for Aiden. And all the children that are being
led astray.
Just forced astray.
Forced astray.
Let's make some things happen, guys. Don't let this be another episode that we just watched. Do something about it.
It's probably our most important episode.
I feel like this is definitely the most important episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.